Tuesday, July 21st, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host today, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour and a bit, Mike Bennett, working his way behind the boards. And we have a great show for you today. I cannot wait to break everything down for you here, starting with Drew coming on. No more tennis. No more World Cup. We are fully ingrained. We're going to dive head first and dive deep into some NFL action, and I cannot wait. I can't wait. 50 days left until the NFL starts. 50 more sleeps, and if you're not excited, we're going to get you excited right here today, breaking a ton of stuff down. Camp starts in 1 week. We got tons of stuff to discuss, like who's on the hot seat for coaching, some win totals, some QB battles, tons of questions out there that we're going to get answered right here with Drew. And this is probably how every Tuesday is going to go. We're probably going to get Drew on here talking some football leading up to the NFL season. 7 more weeks to go. And I, for one, can absolutely not wait. After that, we got some MLS action coming on, or MLS breakdown coming on with every single team is playing today. So what is there? There's 15 games today. Absolutely loaded slate. Adrian's going to come on, talk through those games, talk through some transfers, including Lewandowski and how that affects things. And then finally, we're going to break down some futures as well. Happy to see you guys in the chat this morning. Amber, how's it going? Connor, how's it going? TQ, how's it going? Amber, we missed you yesterday when we were talking WNBA. It's okay. We're happy to have you on the show today. Before we get into things, market available on FanDuel right now. LeBron James next team. We saw it move. Cavs, plus 150 right now. Heat, plus 150. If you look elsewhere, there's some markets out, and there's been a ton of steam towards the Cavaliers. And oh my God, is this not the most annoying thing ever? LeBron James, you're 41 years old. Can you please just make a decision already? What are we waiting for? Did you not learn from years ago when you did the decision live on air? Just pick a team already, all right? Just pick a goddamn team. It's not that important. Pick a team, move on. I'm tired of hearing, it could be Miami. It could be Golden State. It could be Philadelphia. He enrolled his kids. I don't care anymore. I'm done. Just pick a team. You're 41. My goodness. Anyways, if you think he's going to go to the Cavs, you can bet it right now on FanDuel, plus 150. It seems like there is a lot of movement going on there. So don't know if it's going to happen. There's been steam every which way this entire time that he's announced that he's a free agent, or that he's been a free agent. So whichever way this is going, if you want to get ahead of it, maybe it's the Cavs, maybe not. Maybe who knows? Maybe we're going to see it's going to be the Raptors next week. LeBron's enrolling his kids in Toronto or whatever it may be, Toronto school. Anyways, let's get into today's show. And I believe I misspoke. No games tonight. The games are tomorrow. Today is not Wednesday. Today's Tuesday, and I am in a bit of a pickle today. Anyways, let's get into today's show. Before we do that, let's give a quick shout out to our friends over at FanDuel. The Hammer Daily is brought to you by FanDuel. Baseball fans, big hits get even bigger with Dinger Tuesday on FanDuel. Customers can choose their own reward every Tuesday to use on home run bets. How will you play your game? Option 1, the bet reset. Use this on a wager and you'll get refunded in bonus bets if your bet loses. Option number 2, a 50% profit boost. Make your bet, activate the profit boost, and if it hits, that's an extra winnings at no extra cost. Make your choice, and the reward will be ready to use on your next home run bet. One guy I'm circling for today to hit a home run, I'm going to use my option 2, 50% profit boost on this guy. We're going to take Kevin McGonigal. Going to be the rookie of the year in the AL. Plus 750 right now to hit a home run on FanDuel. One of the best prices in market. If not, I believe it is the best price in market here on McGonigal. That's who we're taking to hit a home run. We're going to use that profit boost, apply it, and hopefully he hits a home run for us. Just visit FanDuel.com/forward-progress to get started to choose your reward for home run bets for every Dinger Tuesday. Play ball with the home for home runs on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB. Must be 21 plus and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration. Leg requirements and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-375-050 Massachusetts. Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. All right. let's get into today's show. We're going to bring on our first guest here in just a second. And I see you guys talking about LeBron in the chat saying he's not even the best player, basketball player in his own household. Harsh words, but he is 41. Anyways, let's get into today's show. He's an NFL, NBA, and tennis handicapper. He's a betting analyst over at NBC Sportsbet. And he's the co-host of the Deep Dive podcast. And finally, the best, the number one bottom-up wine expert over on gambling Twitter and maybe in the world, dare I say. Drew Dinsick, how's it going?
That's really kind words, man. It's going great. Still picking up the pieces of my life now that the World Cup is over. It was an amazing month and a half. My dark horse almost made it. Argentina got to the final, couldn't get across the finish line. But no, it was an unbelievable summer so far, and I'm feeling the vacuum right now of not a lot of sports going on. It's a rough week.
Rough week, but perfect timing to start getting prepped and ready to go for this NFL season. Because if you're like me, you sort of put the NFL, college football, you go on the back burner. We're not worrying about you right now. We're focusing on all the craziness that's happening throughout this season. I will say, though, you had a great call on the dark horse with Argentina. You did mention that. It's just a shame that they forgot to play. They forgot to show up. I don't know who's in those jerseys, but
I'm not sure if you watched, but they were overmatched.
Yeah,
that was not close.
Yeah,
I mean, it was. My biggest bet was Argentina to reach the final, so I was beat up enjoying. Perfect. And honestly, like if Argentina had lifted the trophy, I wouldn't feel great about it. Yeah. That would have been one of the all-time heists in major sports. So right team won.
Yep, absolutely right. I felt like a scumbag. We were watching the Egypt game. We were watching the Egypt game here in the office, and when they were down 2-0, I'm like, you know what? Let's just click Argentina to lift the trophy just to see what happens. And I was like, I feel like a scumbag if this ends up going through. So I guess. I felt like an asshole, but I didn't end up winning, so I don't know how I feel anymore. Anyways, let's get into today's show. Any opinion quickly before we head into things on LeBron? I know you're a basketball fan here. Any opinions on LeBron? Him going to the Cavs? Does it even matter? Get it over with. Like enough LeBron.
I just am shocked that Kalshi has $180 million matched on this.
Yeah. It's insane.
What's happening? What is going on here? Like this is a crazy amount of liquidity for something that is an information market. What is happening here? I'm every time I look, I'm like, whoa, is this thing gonna? I think I remember looking and being like, wow, is this gonna break 10 million? Mm-hmm. Whoa, this broke 100 million. This might break 200 million. What the hell are we doing here? I don't think it matters at all for championship equity. I mean, maybe he moves the needle a tiny amount if he goes to Miami, just because they'll have someone who can handle the ball. I don't think it makes them favorites though by any stretch of the imagination. And I would say that long time ago, 4th of July, maybe the one guy that I would say is my kind of truly trusted info guy was like, I would keep an eye on Miami. It's like 10% right now. It should probably be higher. And I got a little bit at that point. It would be a windfall if he chooses Miami. I don't, but the other info guys that I talk to all think it's Cleveland. So I don't have it.
Yeah, it seems like nobody really knows. We saw yesterday, it was the Heat, or 2 days ago, the Heat were like you said, like around 10%, 12%-ish, steamed all the way up to about 50% was minus money on FanDuel, which you can take the LeBron James next team market, now down to plus 150. Cavs steamed all the way up, plus 150 now. No one really knows. Who knows? There was just a crazy move today, but again, is that really anything if we see another crazy move? We already saw a crazy move on the Heat literally 2 days ago. It's like just absolute nonsense.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't have it. I don't think anyone has it.
Yeah, I think I wonder if LeBron has it. Maybe he doesn't even know where he wants to go yet. Maybe he's still deciding on where to go. Anyways, let's get into some NFL stuff here today. There's some questions in the chat about some Coach of the Year markets. We'll talk about that in a couple minutes. Before we get into things, is there anything you're doing differently this year than in years past? Obviously, you don't want to give away too much and don't want to talk, don't want to mention exactly how the cake is made. But like, just anything from the past years that you've seen that is sort of making you question things, or maybe doing things a little bit differently. Anything that's pushing you to think outside of the box for this year.
I mean, I definitely have had taken some major steps in terms of my workflow. I don't know that I'm really going to be counting or relying on PFF grades this year, just based on the sort of changes in the process and what's publicly available there. I would say that, kind of going back to my roots where, I started first time I ever made numbers. I think I just scraped the DVOA stuff and, pushed it through some standard, how do we come up with a distribution? This is what a fair should be. I'm going to kind of try to get do some serious exploring of what FTN and DVOA is, how valuable it is for forward projections this season as a potential replacement for what we were getting from PFF. But most of my stuff is player level anyway, so got to figure out a new way to kind of optimize my workflow there. In general, I didn't love my process of preseason kind of going through team by team and coming up with numbers. I went as hard as I could early here to come up with early set of numbers, and kind of categorize the different teams and try to highlight specific things to, kind of focus on throughout the preseason and make modifications. So I think I'm ahead of the game in terms of coming up with the set of fairs. And I think the kind of macro football question that's really occupying most of my brain right now is year over year, we, kind of highlight the idea that defense is not necessarily predictive because it's a lot more about who did you play. And I think that is going to be challenged to a degree this year because I think there are 6 kind of clear, obvious standout units that are what I will be like sincerely surprised if these 6 teams are not in the top 10 at the end of the year. I might be surprised if they're not the 6 top defenses at the end of the year, frankly. I think there are 3 that just have clearly the most talent on the roster, and that is Houston, Denver, and the Rams. And I think there are 3 that have superior scheme and great talent on the roster, and that is Seattle, Minnesota, and Philadelphia. And yeah, those 6 defenses potentially giving those 6 teams relatively high floor and high likelihood of finding a path to the playoffs is, I think, pretty likely. So you're going to have kind of a bit of an occupied 6 out of our 14 playoff teams kind of occupied by, I think, those extremely talented defenses. Rams stand out among those because they have the most complementary offense. As long as they're healthy, the Rams are going to be my top power rated team all season. They may not ultimately be perceived as the best because certainly the beginning of their schedule is really, really, really challenging. Their first 5 weeks, they play San Francisco, Denver, Philly, Buffalo. Out of, in one game against the Giants sandwiched in there. They got travel to and from Australia to deal with. And I think in a perfect world, they're at 2-3 or something like that after 5 weeks. And people are like, oh, super team Rams. I thought they were going to win the Super Bowl. And you could see market kind of drift a little bit on them when they still should be pretty clearly the top power rated team if they're healthy. So it's, that's kind of, the only standout pricing wise. So yeah, I mean, I could end up eating crow and completely laughing about how foolish it was to think that defense was predictive by the time we get to middle of the season. But yeah, I think you got some pretty high floor squads based on talent and scheme.
Yep. Hashtag defense wins championships. We're going back to the early 2000s style of football here, maybe. And this could also just be the evolution.
Early 2000s. We're going back to Sunday when Spain just choked out the entire world and won with defense, man.
Yeah, you know what? You got me with there. And I was going to mention maybe it's also the evolution of the offenses as well, with how things are going. Like 5-10 years ago, it was 10 years ago, I don't know. Late 2010s, early 2020s when they were playing. Teams were playing a lot of too high to try and cover up with these explosive teams. We've seen a lot less explosion in the NFL, a lot more down-to-down stuff, a lot more short, intermediate yardage. Maybe that's a factor in things as well. All right, I want to flip over and talk some futures here in just a sec. So So it's kind of a tough question, a little bit wordy, but we'll try and get through this here. Year over year, based on the year over year delta, I want you to look at one team that is expected to improve off of last year's record that you're not buying, and then a team that is supposed to regress based off of last year's records in terms of win totals that you are not buying. So you're fading a regression and you're fading a market upgrade. If you had two teams that sort of stick out to you, who are they and why?
There are, just pick two. I don't agree that you're going to see a significant backslide by Chicago. The market is kind of pricing them like third or fourth in the NFC North right now. And I'm going to go down as a Ben Johnson stan, I think, because what he does kind of elevating the running game in particular makes things, I think, just generally sets up that offense to succeed. And expecting Caleb Williams to take a step backwards when he took such a meaningful step forwards under year one of Ben Johnson, I think is foolish. So I'm not selling Chicago. They kind of fall into a bucket for me of sort of tier two, which is they have high ceiling thanks to the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. And I don't think we're going to see, some sort of meaningful regression from them in terms of total games won, despite the very difficult schedule they are facing. The team that is expected to take a big, or at least a meaningful step forward that I'm just like, what, is the New York Giants. Consider me extremely unimpressed with this roster build. I think the secondary and the wide receiver rooms in particular are very, very questionable. I don't know that they have done enough at all to address some of the key and obvious issues with, both sides of the ball there. And Jackson Dart for me is a huge red flag as far as an injury risk goes. So Giants to me are expected to kind of be coach of the year. You brought it up. Like Harbaugh's the favorite for the coach of the year market. Like I don't know many coaches that win 5 games and win coach of the year. So I would sell the top of the board there. We could go on. I could go on with like probably 10 examples of, I think the market is a little bit too quick to ignore some true signal from last year and a little bit too excited about new regimes, which look questionable to me. All
right. I love that. We can talk a little bit about that later. Maybe we save it for when you're on the show next week, because I still have a couple more things I want to get to. One thing about the Bears as well. I love that you said that. Obviously everyone is sort of downgrading them based on their defense. Their defense obviously wasn't great last year, but like you said, this Bears offense, like potential to be a top 3 offense in the league. They have a solid offensive line. Their ceiling is completely uncapped with Caleb Williams as their quarterback, Colson Loveland 1 more year, Luther Burden 1 more year. Like they have deadly weapons. Like they're a legit team.
Yeah, I don't see them as any different than the likes of the Bengals, the likes of the Cowboys, the likes of the Bills. All right, like these are all teams with like, kind of a reason to believe that there's an offensive ceiling that could, kind of set them up for success, while the complementary side of the football has nothing but questions. So there is a huge swath of those. Niners fall into that category. It's Chiefs fall into that category. Like there are a lot of teams where you're like, okay, there is an offensive, kind of ingredients here to be clearly top 10. And if that hits, then who cares about the defense? And the Bears are right there.
I love it. I'm like giddy hearing this stuff. Love talking about the Bears. Any opportunity that I get. Let's move over and talk some QB battles. We've seen some that are going to be emerging heading into training camp next week. Most notable ones, obviously Kyler Murray over JJ McCarthy, even though everyone really feels like Kyler Murray's the guy, minus 2,500 on FanDuel. I think the biggest one, or the 2 biggest ones it feels like, are Kirk Cousins and Mendoza. It sounds like the plan is for Kirk Cousins to start. We can talk about if that's the right.
Don't understand it.
There we go. We can talk about if that's the right move or the wrong move here. And then the other, actually, there's 3. Sorry, one more that I was going to mention is the Falcons, Tua versus Penix, probably Tua. Most interesting one though, in terms of, because they have essentially no option. Maybe throw me into the ring for quarterback here. The Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson, Shadur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Taylor Green. Any opinion here on some of these starting quarterback battles that we see heading into camp?
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that the Kyler Murray one is, it's for show. I think he will ultimately be named the starter, and I think there's upside with Minnesota. That as we mentioned, I think they're one of the high floor defenses. That if Kyler Murray clicks with that offense, considering the weapons that they have at their disposal in the passing game, that is a playoff team for me. The other ones you mentioned are all kind of hilarious. You didn't mention Arizona, did you? Did you say Arizona?
No, but I
think there is.
You
think there's a non-zero chance that Brissett loses that job.
Okay, all right. Beck, Minshew. Yeah. I mean, Minshew and Beck are plus 470. Beck is plus 800. Minshew plus 470. There's real opportunity here.
There's a non-zero chance that Brissett loses that job. The Cardinals are not competing this year. Cleveland is not competing this year. So it kind of doesn't matter what they choose, which gives them the flexibility to, kind of get a little weird, I think. Arizona, the fact that Brissett missed minicamp and is going through contract issues is I think notable in terms of how will he get the early reps here, because Arizona plays a Hall of Fame game. So we're going to start getting some news and information about what's going on there. And I think they are kind of one of the teams that are served well by playing a guy like Beck for 17 games, right? Because that you either win one and you're picking first next year and you're getting your quarterback of the future, or you find out you actually have something that you want to build with, and then you can use that draft capital for other purposes. So my guess is the Arizona is the kind of the one to keep an eye on. Cleveland, I don't understand why we're doing this Deshaun Watson thing. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like he is going to ultimately be a meaningful contributor to that team this year. So I don't really understand why they're doing this. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is very good, but I do think he will ultimately be given the chance this year. And then, Las Vegas, you mentioned, why are we keeping Mendoza on ice? It makes no sense. This team is not going to compete. I have them right now rated as like a -3.5. There are still lots of things that need to be addressed. I don't think Kubiak feels any kind of pressure to win now, which I think is a good opportunity for you to get Mendoza's feet wet here. So if Kirk Cousins does get the start, I think he'll last 4 weeks, and then it'll be Mendoza time.
Yep.
And I'm not sure what you're getting by just having Mendoza go through the reps as your backup quarterback for the first 4 weeks of the season. So that one's a head scratcher. Tua Penix, I think, breaks Penix. The market or people seem to think Tua is going to win that job. I don't agree, but I don't have strong conviction there.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. One thing I will say, and I kind of I'm going to pat myself on the back here, talked about it last year with the Saints and how they were probably going to lean towards, oh my God, what's his name? I can't believe I forgot his name now.
Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler. There we go. How they were going to lean towards Spencer Rattler over Tyler Shuck, simply because I feel like a lot of new head coaches might not want to risk. Is there something going on here?
Me?
Oh no, I thought you were looking concerned at your screen over there. I thought maybe some crazy news drop. No, never mind. Sorry, I was just gonna say Spencer Rattler over Tyler Shuck, simply because a lot of these first time head coaches or these coaches coming into a new team, they want their it's almost like having the shittier QB start or like the older QB start or like the more veteran QB start is like a get out of jail free card for you if the season starts poorly. And for the Raiders, it's probably gonna start poorly. For the Falcons, for the Cardinals, it might start poorly. So that might be like a free get out of jail free card for them, where if things look bad, make the QB switch, and then you can sort of say, hey, we lost those games because of the quarterback. So that might be something to consider here.
Cardinals are going to be double-digit dogs for the first 10 weeks of the season.
So I don't think anything's going to change anything there for the Cardinals. You're right.
That schedule is unfreaking believable, by the way. I say the first 10 weeks of the season, I forgot they have one game against the Giants where they'll probably be 7-point dogs.
There you go. The team to fade in Survivor, and the team that will probably lose you all of your lose a lot of people there. Survivors, like they lost people Survivor last year. No, who was it? Was it DeMercado who fumbled the ball on the 1 year line?
That was the other way around.
Yes,
though.
yeah.
Everybody was on Arizona, and Tennessee miraculously won that game. Yes. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good time. Cannot wait for Survivor discussion here. quickly, just with the Browns, I know you said Shedeur might be the guy. Any chance that it's Dylan Gabriel or Taylor Green?
I don't think so. I guess there's a chance. Yeah, there's
Right?
a chance. It's the Browns. It's I do nothing that they're doing makes sense at all. I don't think that we're getting a fair reporting of it either. So it's Taylor Green, I think is clearly like the very, very, very least likely.
Agreed.
Dylan Gabriel, we saw exactly enough from him last year to know that at best he is going to be a serviceable backup. He is not a starter. I think you do give Shedeur Sanders a chance to run this offense with an offensive line that is not 5 backups. That was a little bit of part of the problem last year, is that the entire offensive line was on second string. Not that they've done an amazing job of backfilling talent wise. There are some names on this depth chart that are not NFL players. But I think you definitely go into the season giving him a chance with an offensive line that is fully healthy and prepared. So that would be my lean there. The Deshaun Watson one is that's the part of the stew that makes zero sense to me. Don't get it.
Might be a situation where let's put Deshaun Watson in because we know what he is and we know that he can help us tank. But that's all these guys actually when you think about it. I will say, hand up, I've clicked Dylan Gabriel at 55-1. TA has made fun of me abundantly. He said you should have donated your money to charity, but we'll see on that one.
He feels like he doesn't make the roster.
Yeah, probably. But I feel like he has just as good a shot to start as these guys because they all stink. Anyways, I got you for a couple more minutes here before you head out. A lot of questions in the chat around head coaching and coach of the year. So I want to spin these, tie these two things together here. Of the 10 new head coaches in the NFL, who's in the position to succeed the most, number one, and then number two, do you think that has a trickle down effect to the coach of the year market? Obviously Harbaugh is the number one that you mentioned. Of course there's a trickle down, but anyone you like of these new head coaches to win coach of the year, and if you think it's not one of these new head coaches, who do you think it could be?
Yeah, I think Minter should be the favorite.
Okay.
I think what you had from that, and this is maybe more of even a commentary on Lamar Jackson. He was hurt last year. It was obvious. And his numbers pre and post injury were compelling. I think the absolutely impossibly good EPA per play numbers that he had 2 years ago may be difficult to replicate. That we may never see that again from Lamar Jackson. But I do think that he is going to land kind of in the top 5, top 3 QB, ratings going into, once the dust settles this season. I think the Baltimore Ravens are situated well to compete against really just the Bengals to win the AFC North. 12 wins is their ceiling. Actually, it's not even really their ceiling. 12 wins is pretty close to my median projection. I'm projecting the Ravens right now to win 11.6 games this year. I think their ceiling is more like 13. And if they get a top 2 seed, then I think Jesse Minter is your coach of the year. I don't really think any of the other new coaches have much like sincere hope of competing outside of Brady and Buffalo, but I am selling a lot of what Buffalo has got going on right now in the market. Congratulations, you have Josh Allen, but this roster is wildly incomplete to me.
I hated the Joe Brady hire. I hated everything about what Buffalo's been doing over the last couple of years. It's brutal stuff there, and also very ironic that Harbaugh and Minter are 1 and 2 in terms of coach of the year. Mark, it's funny how things play out like that.
And it's funny because when you upgrade from a coach like Harbaugh to Minter, you should be given more credit.
Yes, I think that's very fair. Harbaugh, obviously, we know what he is. He's a culture guy, and Minter is like on the field can actually help your team out kind of guy. So we'll be excited to see what Jesse Minter does with Kyle Hamilton in that defense. Should be creative. Should be a lot of fun. Last thing I want to talk about before you head out here. I guess it's July 21st. We got I think it was 50 days till the start of the NFL season. Give me a Super Bowl long shot that you see jumping up in terms of price as we get closer to the start of the season. Now, obviously, if there's an injury, something's going to happen here that'll shake up the odds board. But assuming everything is status quo from here to the start of the NFL season, is there a name that you're circling, which you see right now, which could be a little bit shorter at the start of the season?
First of all, from a philosophy perspective, if you are betting into these markets in the later stages of July, before we have any preseason or any type of training camp information, you should only be swinging for the fences, in my opinion. We very, very, very rarely see wire-to-wire favorites from this part of the calendar to the wire in the NFL. The best price you're going to get on the Rams is not right now, is basically my opinion. I do think this is the best price you're going to get on Minnesota, Cincinnati, and Dallas, who I think are all, for different reasons, kind of more in the mix than the market realizes. That if you're giving me like a 30 to 1-ish type of price, I want a high ceiling quarterback OC combination. I think you have that with all three of those teams. And then there's obviously questions about the defense for both Cincinnati and Dallas that may ultimately doom them. But, there's at least reasons to be cautiously optimistic for Cincinnati based on some of the data that you have from the back half of 2025. And for Dallas, the change at DC might be exactly what they need, combined with pretty decent talent injection on that roster. So those are the three teams that to me stand out as better chance than market right now.
Vikings right now 45-1, Bengals 19-1, and Campbell's.
Bengals are down to 19-1.
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm there at 30. At 19, I'm probably cooler on them.
Yes. Yeah. Fair enough there. And then Cowboys 22-1. So
22 already.
Yeah.
Huh? So those have moved already, I guess, and I agree with that. But
Vikings though still 45-1. Probably not going to get. I mean, depending on how the season goes from now till the start of the season, probably not going to get a better price. Going to see that trickle down. I'm going to give you some homework before you head out here, Drew. There's a fun market on FanDuel. X team to have more regular season wins than Y team, right? So if you can I want you to just think about two teams that might be, like we talked about, like the Bears and the Giants, one team that's underrated, one team that's overrated that you might want to target in these markets. We'll talk about that next time you're on the show here on Tuesday. But before you head out, it's the summer. Any summer wine recommendations from the gentlemen's in the chat?
Most wine of the week last week for me was a wine called Pink Salt. Comes from a wine grower in Oregon. Big Salt. Really, really high mineral, refreshing whites and rosés out of Oregon. Oregon right now is kind of stealing the show as far as producers who are punching above their weight in the price department, at least here in North America. Over in Europe, I'm sure it's different. But track down some Big Salt and some Pink Salt for your summer barbecues.
All right, Pink Salt, Big Salt. Hopefully, people who like.
Yeah, that was the wine of the week last week.
There we go. Wine of the week.
Wine of the
week. Hopefully, other wine brands aren't insulted.
I got those at Whole Foods too, so it's not like you really gotta. You don't need a boutique wine aficionado procurer to track those down.
All right, perfect. The man of the people, Drew. Appreciate you joining the show. We'll talk next week. Chat soon.
Best luck, guys.
Great stuff there as well. Sad that no one picked up on my insulting joke.
I did.
Okay, good. Thank you. I don't know if anyone in the chat did, but yeah, I thought it was funny. Maybe not. Anyways, before we get into things, before we talk about some MLS action here with Goon in just a second, it's the off season. But if you're serious about betting props, we always preach this. The hard part is not finding an edge. It's actually scaling that edge. BetStamp Pro is built to grow your volume and your ROI. Every player prop and alternate line across 200 plus books on one screen in real time. Price against BetStamp's True Line. Proprietary model weighted per market and prop type. Bias corrected. Producing the most efficient, sharpest prop pricing reference in the industry. Catch off-market props the second they appear across more markets and more alt lines than anywhere else. So you can get more money down at a bigger edge more often. Scan the QR code on screen or use the link in the description to apply. That's betstamp.com/hammer. All right. Let's get into our next guest here. Hope you guys enjoyed that segment. Maybe we'll talk some college football later on in the week as well. NFL wrapped up. Moving forward with some MLS. All right. He's a soccer aficionado. Unsure how he's feeling now post World Cup. I don't know if he's excited, if he's exhausted. I'm sure he's enthusiastic to talk MLS regardless. Adrian, a.k.a. the Drunken Goon. Adrian, welcome in. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Oh, my goodness. Is that an Argentina? Is just an Argentina shirt?
Yeah, so I wore it especially for the show. The day I bought it, I stained it. This is the first time I wear it since. I figured it's a good time because Argentina played such a shitty game that they stained the World Cup with that final.
They definitely did. It's an unfortunate turn of events for them for a tournament that they've looked really good at. I believe one last thing. I don't know how much you want to talk about the World Cup now that it's over, but I was looking at some stats. Everything was Opta has an all-in-one catch-all stat. Obviously, you can't really take too much away from that, but the delta from that one stat to everyone else from Messi to the rest of the team is like one of the largest gaps since Opta's been tracking this stuff. I think since like 1990. So lopsided in terms of one player and the rest of the team for Argentina.
So I've been saying that if you take Messi and put him on Paraguay, it's basically the same thing as Argentina.
Might even be an upgrade with how well they play defensively. But anyways, let's talk about MLS here moving forward. Got 15 matches happening tomorrow. We're going to discuss a couple of them here. Maybe the marquee matches is what we'll highlight. Before we do that, we saw a ton of movement in terms of the MLS. Two of the biggest moves, maybe two of the most high-profile moves, Lewandowski to Chicago and Griezmann to Orlando. How much do these moves matter? And am I missing some under-the-radar moves that maybe haven't picked up on other than like outside these big-name acquisitions?
Yeah, they matter. You know, they say MLS is not a retirement league, but Chicago brings in Lewandowski, who's 37, and gets rid of Kuipers, who's 29. Griezmann, same thing. He's enjoying his NBA games, Miami, Orlando, whatever he needs to catch on. But both of them will contribute. They're solid players that can dominate in the MLS. So I say, the more the merrier for these type of moves. There's a few other ones. I know Charlotte lost Zaha just before the World Cup break, and they brought in. They went to Lens and picked up winger Alex Saint-Maximin. He's another guy that basically plugs that hole that Zaha left. High intensity, big speed, skills on the ball. He can be a fun player to watch in the MLS.
All right. Anyone else you're highlighting here in terms of additions, and then we'll maybe talk about guys who have moved on.
Yeah. So Bryce Mendes going to Columbus is a big addition. It's going to cover up the hole left by Diego Rossi moving to Monterrey in Mexico. We also saw Gabriel Peck leave from LA Galaxy to Cruzeiro in Brazil. LA Galaxy is a team that needs to reshape their roster. They have 2 designated player spots available now. Hopefully next year when they get over some injuries, they can compete. But there were no match in the El Tráfico at the weekend against the LAFC and got creamed 3-0. So LAFC also lost a couple of players. Eustáquio went back to Porto. His loan deal expired. And they also sent Ordaz to Washington, I believe, DC United. They had a bit of a traffic jam with the roster size. So, this is addition by subtraction. Our Canadians are going to get a few more minutes with Schaffelberg on the wing. He started that game and contributed to the first goal, and he was pretty enthusiastic and played well in that game. Other moves, Atlanta continues to add South American defenders. One of the Paraguayans. So I don't know what to expect from them. They have holes in net and at striker, but they pick up defenders. That's 5 new defenders since the start of the season. I'm not sure what they're doing, but they keep doing what they're doing.
All right. Any you mentioned the moves on the way out. You mentioned Pack. You mentioned Rossi. Any other guys on the way out that you're looking at?
So just a couple of more moves. San Jose did some interesting things. They brought in Angus Glenn, who played for Scotland at the World Cup, to be their goalie, and they shipped up Brazilian Daniel to FC Dallas. Apparently, they had an issue with him not speaking English and not being able to communicate well with the defense. So that's an interesting move. I don't think it's an upgrade, but maybe with the language barrier could be an issue. And they picked up the top scorer in the Australian League, Luka Jovanovic. It appears that he's like a poor man's Marmouche. if that's the case, he's a good addition because they've had some scoring from Judd, but I don't think that's going to last. So they need a couple of strikers, and that could help San Jose long term.
All right. Let's flip over and talk about the match.
One more thing, because it's the week of the comeback. We've had 3 ex-MLS players come back to the league. Striker Daryl Dikey went back to Orlando. Left back Kai Wagner went back to Philly. That's a move that's actually going to impact Philly quite a lot. He was their best set play guy before this season. He left and they sorely missed him, so now he's back. And the last one, Alex Mazzana, diminutive playmaker, joining St. Louis. It's going to be interesting for them to have the ability to break through lines and with a little bit of speed. They've been lacking that a little bit.
All right, let's flip over and talk the matches for tomorrow. Keep wanting to say today, but it is for tomorrow. Here, a couple marquee ones that I've highlighted. Let's start with Inter Miami versus Chicago. 2 big names coming in here, Lewandowski and Messi. First of all, Messi probably going to play in this match, right? Like he's not playing.
No, he's in Argentina. The Poles in Argentina. They went to say hi to Buenos Aires after the World Cup, so I don't think they'll be back in time for tomorrow, and I doubt they'll be playing at the weekend in Montreal either. I was looking to go to Montreal to see them, but no chance they play.
All right, Miami right now plus 105 on the 3-way money line. Chicago plus 210, plus 300 for the draw. Miami second place, third place here in Chicago. Top match. Anything you got in this game? Talk me through this one.
So I took Chicago plus a half, minus 123. Shop around. There's nice prices out there. I think Miami they have a decent lineup. Silvetti, Bartrame, and Luis Suarez up top. They'll be able to generate chances. Their problems have always been at the back, and St. Clair didn't play at all in the World Cup, so can he be rusty? He's occasionally making some blunders. So Chicago has been a scoring machine. Kuipers hasn't left yet, and I think he's going to play. And Lewandowski will come off the bench, maybe 30 minutes, something like that in the second half. I think Chicago can trade chances and catch Miami at the back, and this should be a high-scoring game with Chicago getting something out of the game.
All right. Seems like a Chicago high-scoring game. Chicago plus the half at minus 123 here in this match. Double chance. Yeah. Minus 145 on FanDuel, but shop around because there's some better prices out there. I'm also going to give you some homework as well here because I'm popping open these matches. I didn't click into the matches. That's my mistake not doing this pre-show. But I see those 2 arrows beside these goal scorers.
Oh,
so we got super sub. It's back.
Super sub, okay.
Yeah. So something to consider moving forward, whether it be the shots on target market, or goals markets, assists, anything of that nature. Anything you can think of at the end of, we'll go through the next 3 games, and then anything you can think of in terms of teams that like to use super subs, like for like players, things in that nature. Maybe
the first one that will come to mind is if Kuipers starts and Lewandowski comes in for him. That's your automatic right there.
There we go.
Assuming Kuipers starts, confirmed the day before. If he's on the traveling roster, he should start. So.
Yeah, I don't see him listed right now for Chicago, so maybe he's not starting. I'm just trying to see if
the move is up in the air right now. It hasn't been confirmed yet, so it's something to check on game day for sure.
Yes, yeah, got to keep an eye out for that one. But yeah, even moving forward past this week, this upcoming match, there could be something there. Kuipers for Lewandowski. That's what we're looking for. Next, we got San Jose versus Orlando. San Jose, one of the top teams in the West here. Very, very strong team. We got Griezmann coming in. Is he walking into this match? Is this going to be good for him? Is he going to be coaxing through this one? Talk me through this match here, San Jose versus Orlando.
So they had a friendly last week, and he played in that one, so I see no reason why he wouldn't start in this game. He's in shape. He's had time off, and he's ready to go. I think he's excited. He was doing promos for the Leagues Cup, which starts in a couple of weeks. So I expect that he plays. They traded the big dunk to Houston as well. So there's no second option there. He's the go-to guy. Orlando, I'm kind of excited about because they had some injuries. They were really really bad to start the season, and they made a coaching change. They haven't really done much since, but I think they're on the right track. And with the break, they had an opportunity to get resettled and organized. And I think the price is just wrong here. San Jose minus 1.25. I can't touch that, but I'm playing Orlando plus 1.25 because San Jose with the goalie change, they're also doing some roster turnover as well. I'm not sold on Judd being a Golden Boot contender. So give me the plus 1.25 here, and I think Orlando can play with them.
All right, plus 1.25 here for Orlando in this match. San Jose overrated in terms of what the market is.
In my opinion.
That's we like opinions and we like strong opinions here on the show, and we appreciate you sharing that with us. Anyways, let's move over to Charlotte and Atlanta.
Oh,
Which one is
not Italian. The Italians are not coming.
Okay.
Atlanta, not Atlanta.
Charlotte versus Atlanta here. Big, two massive fan bases. Talk me through this one here. Anything you like in this match?
Yeah, so this is a kind of a local derby. Charlotte came in the league, and when Atlanta was at their peak, and since then Atlanta has taken a deep. Charlotte's kind of on the rise. Roster-wise, Charlotte has some injuries. There's rumors that Kerwin Vargas is about to leave as well. I don't think Saint-Maximin is ready to play significant minutes in this one. So there's a significant downgrade in Charlotte from their peak. I would say maybe 80%. For Atlanta, I have no idea what they're doing. They played pretty well at Nashville and probably deserved the point before losing 1-0. I don't know what to expect from them. I don't like their goaltending. Their strikers are just not generating enough chances. They're more solid defensively, but they still make mistakes. So two teams that I really, can I bet against both of them? I don't know. I'm going to pass on this one, but if gun to my head, I'll probably take Atlanta plus a half there.
All right, gun to your head, Atlanta plus the half. Atlanta double chance on that one. Last game I wanted to highlight here was Columbus versus New York City FC. Like we talked about here, Rossi, one of the bigger transfers out of the MLS here. These teams did play a couple weeks ago, or a while ago, but months ago, I guess. But it's the most recent game for these MLS teams, or second most recent game for these MLS teams. Anything you like in this one? Talk me through this.
I think I'm going to take a wait and see attitude on Columbus. They made some changes. Their top strikers are injured. Gazdag hasn't done much. I like Bryce Mendez. He's going to contribute. He's going to step into that playmaker role. The defense is solid at home. They're a fun team to watch. They get a lot of push from sellout crowds. New York City, I don't know. There's a lot of turmoil there. I think their playmaker Mercado wanted to leave and they didn't sell him. The coach hasn't renewed his contract, so there's some turmoil there as well. If anything, Columbus, but I'm not touching this one either.
All right, hands off on this one. Those are the four I highlighted. Anything else you like for all 15 games for today? For tomorrow. I don't know why I keep saying today. Anything else you like for these MLS matches? 15 matches. We covered 4 of them. Any other shouts you have in terms of bets?
So the one thing with the big break I wanted to mention is there's been 7 coaching changes this season in the MLS, and this has allowed some teams to reset with new staff or even the old staff that got a chance to look at the first half of the season and adjust. So maybe it's a good time to just have some observations and then make decisions. But I don't roll that way. So I have 7 plays today or tomorrow.
Right.
I've got San Jose we mentioned plus 1.25. I also got Minnesota minus half, minus 106 against Kansas City. You might be able to get a better price on that. Kansas City is still a dumpster fire, and we saw that against St. Louis in the derby at the weekend. I also have Portland draw no bet minus 124 against Dallas. Portland came out of the break guns blazing. They destroyed Seattle in Seattle. Hopefully there's not a lot of variance going back the other way. I think getting them a draw no bet at home against Dallas is a bit of a gift. So I'm taking that. And finally, I have Houston minus a half, minus 124 over DC United. DC United made a bunch of changes as well. Houston has a lot more firepower. Their defense is settled now, and playing down in Houston in the heat and humidity is something that's never to be overlooked. I think Houston takes care of business there.
All right. Goon, appreciate you joining the show. Appreciate you breaking all of that down. Before you head out, you want to talk a little bit about futures.
One more thing. I don't think we mentioned LA FC Real Salt Lake. I have over 3 minus 112 in that one. Two teams with a lot of firepower going forward. RSL is just a juggernaut offensively as well with the speed on the wings, and they like to trade chances. So I think that one's a good overbet as well.
All right, over 3 minus 112 there in Real Salt Lake. Houston minus the half, minus 124. Portland, draw no bet, minus 124. KC minus the half, minus 106. Futures bets here. Anything you like in terms of futures? Really, only thing that's available right now that I see on FanDuel is Eastern Conference winner, Western Conference winner, and MLS Cup winner. Anything you like there?
So I had a look at those, and I think Nashville plus 170 to win the East. It's basically a two horse race right now. Them and Miami, they have a 5-point edge on Miami, and I don't think Miami is gonna be going full guns blazing, especially with Messi maybe out today and at the weekend. I think Nashville can open up a bigger gap before the weekend, and they do get Miami in Nashville next time out in like late August. So I think Nashville is the team that's going to win the East, and I make that about plus 120. So good value there to win the East.
All right, looking at Nashville
funds for 2 months.
Nashville to win the East plus 170 there over at FanDuel. I want you to keep thinking, keep marinating about these super subs. If you have any ideas, send them my way because I cannot wait.
We'll do. And not at FanDuel, but another green sportsbook. One bet I was looking at for top scorer, Sam Surridge plus 1,200. If Kuipers goes to Mexico, Messi misses a couple of games. He's the guy that scores in bunches. He can be had for plus 1,200. It's a good bet.
Sam Surridge for the Nashville FC team there, or Nashville SC. Interesting. Nashville SC team there. All right, Goon, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Thank you.
Great stuff there. Great stuff from Goon. Oh my gosh, as always. To clarify, that's to win the regular season, right? Not come out of the East. It's excluding playoffs, correct? That is to win the regular season. Yep. I don't know if you heard that in the background from Goon. To clarify, yes, Eastern Conference winner 2026, excluding playoffs, plus 170 is what Goon was looking for. Shout out to you, Amber. Appreciate you joining the show. Hope you have a safe travels to work. Thanks for coming and joining. And shout out to those watching on Twitter at The Better Life. On Twitter, feel free to come in over to YouTube and join us in the comment section here because it's always a lot of fun. All right, guys, that's it. That wraps up today's show. What's up?
Did you see what Rob tweeted at you? It was like 20 minutes ago. I'll bring it up on screen.
Did not.
So Ian posted this video. He's like, being a dork is the worst thing an athlete can do to his legacy. Tom Brady is losing his aura. Scroll down. What about a host? Ask him for @takes by Jay.
Oh, I appreciate that he thinks of me as an athlete. That's awesome. I never played a professional sport in my life, but if he thinks I'm an athlete, that's great. That's great stuff. Rob, thank you for the Rob, not one to give compliments, but I do appreciate that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Can't wait to have Ian on the show sometime. Also, yes. I disagree with everyone about this Tom Brady stuff. Let the guy be. If he's literally born and bred to be an entertainer. He's had stadiums like roaring his name for 20 years. Obviously, he's like missed out on that. He doesn't want to just retire and be boring. He wants to entertain. Let the guy entertain. Who cares? And if you don't like it, this is the best part about things. Don't watch it. If you don't like WWE, don't watch it. Some people like it. Others don't. If it's not for you, that's fine. Bad takes all around on the Tom Brady stuff. Not tarnishing his legacy. The best football player of all time. I mean, like, listen. If you want to look at some other GOATs, if you look at basketball, got one guy drawing out a decision for fucking 5 months in LeBron James, who's corny and a loser. I mean, he wins a lot, but the way he acts is so corny. The other basketball GOAT literally got his alleged. You know? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Let the guy live. Let the guy live. Who cares? The GOATs can't be perfect. He's probably like the least controversial go to fall. Like, what are we talking about here? We want to go to golf? Tiger Woods? We want to talk about that? What happened to Michael Jordan? Can we mention that? Why did he go play baseball? Crazy stuff. Wayne Gretzky, love the guy. I don't know how much we want to get into on air. Anyways, appreciate you guys joining the show. Do us a favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel if you're new to the channel as well. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Amber, Connor, Matt. Peyton Manning is like ruining the NFL broadcast right now with his stuff. Also, Peyton Manning, they talked about it on the show yesterday on Circle Back. Peyton Manning's had some drug delivery in his wife's name. Not the most cookie cutter and clean. He's also not a GOAT. Simple as that. I think the Mannings are just like, ugh. Mannings are ugh now. They're icky. Anyways.
Give you the ick?
Yeah. It's just they had such a good thing going. The first, what was it, 2 episodes? They were the first 2 times they did their little watch-alongs, and they just absolutely ruined things by making it into like a podcast during the show, which nobody wants to see. Anyways, let's get out of here. Shout out to Goon for coming on. Shout out to Drew breaking down the NFL today. Shout out to Mike keeping everything clean behind the boards. Shout out to you guys, like I mentioned in the chat, Giovanni, Amber, Connor, TQ, Met, E-Colt, every one of you guys in the chat every single day. Appreciate you guys coming on and keeping things lively. Even those guys on Twitter as well, at The Better Life. Come over to YouTube. It's a lot more fun here, I promise. But if not, we appreciate you guys watching on Twitter. Regardless, smash the like button. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. Comment down below any thoughts you have for today. If you have any futures bets on the NFL, we're going to be talking so much more NFL in the future. Maybe we'll talk some college football action later in the week as well. I think that's it. I think we're good to go. Let's head out of here. This has been the Tuesday, July 21st edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We'll see you guys right here tomorrow.